What's going on, people? It's Mr. back again with the preview, and I thought I'm not going to put Reece in backstage because I know I want him to have me before we do start. Because yes, Reece, I know you beat us 5-1. Get out of the way. Come on, talk about. But yeah, everyone knows who this is. I don't need to introduce him. It's Reece Bish. How you doing?
Yeah, well, you can't really see me because of the reflection off my glasses, but I am here. I'm not too bad, thanks. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I'm slightly nervous as well. We've not played in ages in the league. It's only been 2 weeks, so we've got some catching up to do. You've been on really good form. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game, but the cup game. I'm not going to boast about it. It's a rare.
No. Let's talk about it. Right, let's talk before we do talk about tomorrow's game. Let's talk about the FA Cup game. Like, let me have my spin about it. I thought, yes, you outplayed us, you battered us, but as you know, the first goal was offside, and the penalty was never penno. But the whole game, I think Swansea done us. And what was your outtake of it?
Well, I don't want to get any trouble in legal action, so I'm just going to say, whatever the referee says, I'm not really going to argue with that. It's up for debate, but questionable offside maybe, but overall we did deserve it. I think that penalty did change the game massively. I think it would have been a lot more tighter than that. And as soon as we scored that third, we even scored 10 men. One of the youngsters scored. So, apart from that, though, we had a good spell in the second half. And then Knockard scored, didn't he? It's like early in the second half. You were a little bit on top, and then we got that penalty, which, let's say, was a dive from Ryan Manning. And, it didn't really matter because, we lost to Man City, but it was a good experience. Former Derby County striker Morgan Whittaker scored his debut goal. He'll want to start in this game. But, it was a good game. I wasn't expecting a 6-goal thriller. Both teams made a lot of changes for that game. So it was good to see some French players. And at the end of the day, it was good to see two teams who, usually tend to sit back and hold out for the 1-0 win, something like that. It was kind of good to see it, but in November we both know that's going to be the type of game tomorrow. Both quite defensive. Set pieces will be big for this game. I've seen that Sammy Amy always out injured.
Oh no!
Thank the Lord. But I think it'll be a tight game tomorrow.
So from that game from the FA Cup, I know. Let's forget the FA Cup. I think last time we played in the league, that you've been like you've done fantastic, and you've had a positive January window, haven't you?
Yeah, very good. 2 good additions. We signed 2 Americans, or might as well call my channel American away days now. American away days. John Morris and Paul Ariola. Morris has looked bright in the 2 games he's featured. On his debut against Norwich, he should have had a penalty. His home debut, coming off the bench, should have had a penalty. Ariola is more of a wing back, but we've seen him play a lot more attackingly in the striker and central attack midfielder role. So he's a bit unknown, but the big signing we did make, obviously in the window, was Aston Villa loanee Conor Hourihane.
I'm not going to lie, people. I am so jealous because, I think in the last preview you said you mentioned Forest will link with him. I think you messaged me. You put we're getting Hourihane, and there was no manners. There are no manners there, Reece. But I've said it all along, and I said it on Reece's preview. Go and check it out on his YouTube channel. Hourihane is a fantastic signing for you. Fantastic signing, and I feel you'll get top 2. Like I know, like you just mentioned, you brought in the American people. I know you brought a backup keeper, Ben Heyman as well, haven't you? But
and
Colin
Kieran as well, and Kieran Freeman.
And Kieran Freeman as well, ex Nottingham Forest player as well. So, in your opinion, I kept seeing this with the Hourihane signing. Do you really think you'll get top 2, or will you be happy with playoffs?
I think we will at least get playoffs as a minimum this season, which is just mad, really, considering that was our main objective last season. I really want to get top 2, as we seen last season. Brentford had a great chance to get top 2, and then in the playoffs, an unlucky Thomas Frank. No hatred there, but we should be aiming for the top 2. Like I say, we're now 4th. When we did play our last game, we were 2nd, 2 points off top, and because of the postponement against Sheffield Wednesday in the cup game, we've just dropped to 4th. But we have 2 games in hand on both Brentford and Norwich, 3 games in hand on Watford. If we do win all of those games, we will go top of the league, but who knows? It's going to be crazy. Brentford and Norwich all playing at the same time tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. But
Mm.
do I think we'll get top 2? I don't know. Norwich with Buendia, they're a different animal, and Brentford, how will they recover from their first loss in 22, 23 games? So it depends. I think we should be up there, but I don't know. I think we'll at least get playoffs, but even Watford a challenge. So it's just so many teams, getting there. We just got to keep doing what we've been doing in us, winning football games.
I know, Liz, I keep mentioning about this player, and you cannot forget this. You slated Lowe. You always slated Lowe. And people in the comments, if people remember this, right, I said when Swansea signed Lowe from Wigan, he said Lowe wasn't good enough. If people in the comments, can you remember this comment, what he said? Now, are you eating your words?
Not really. It's weird with Jamal Lowe. He works very hard for the team. Even if he doesn't have a great game, he always works hard. That's what you can guarantee. But I'm going to sound like a broken record. The last couple of weeks, he's been poor. I'm not slating him.
Oh, come on, here we go.
He's not scoring a couple of games now. With Joe Morris trying to fight for the place, Morgan Whittaker. Lowe's got to be scoring a lot more goals, and he's been doing that. From November to January, but since like mid-January to now, we've had 3 or 4 games which he's not looked, sharp. Maybe he's due a rest, but again, play against Man City. But knowing your luck, he'll score against you. But I wouldn't say slate him. I would say he could have done a little bit better.
There's a comment saying, I remember Bish said his nan could do better. See, people in the comments.
Louis, that was about Yorkers. and you've seen Yorkers play, haven't you, against when you played Coventry?
I can't remember because I think he was in was Joe Wall's back pocket.
Exactly. We know how bad Joe Wall is because he conceded 5.
Listen to me, right? Like that game like an FA Cup, I think it was a nothing game to be fair, but Swansea deserved it.
It's a nothing game. You just wanted to play Man City. Oh, let's play Man City.
Like I said, let's mention let's get back to the league game. Like I said, I mentioned you beat us 1-0. I think, like I said, Swansea deserved to beat us at State Ground and battered us at your Grand FA Cup. But look at the transfer window that you had in this week. Do you think are you happy with it, or do you think you could have been brought at least one more?
Extremely happy with it. Got to be honest, extremely happy. It was looking like towards the end of the window we weren't going to get this backup for Connor Roberts, the right wing back, but then we sent Kieran Freeman, who recently signed for Swindon 3 weeks later. He's now a Swans player, so I'm very happy with the window. We've got some great options up front. Recognise number 9, which is always good. We've got some really good options in the midfield now. Obviously, no key injuries at the minute. We've got 4 players absent, but none of them would be a guaranteed starter. So we've got a lot of games. We've got more games. We've got the most games in the Championship left to play. I think with QPR with all the postponements. So I think we've got 19 games left to play. When Forest and other teams got 17, 16. So we're gonna have to rotate every week now. We've not played in a week, which will probably be thing. And I think the players will be very, very up for this game. Forest had a good point on the weekend, but because we've just not played in a long time, we've only lost 1 at home in the league this season. I think we're going to be up for it. And I think we'll be out the tracks trying to get that early goal tomorrow.
If anyone's got any questions for Bish, for myself, please put in the comments. And please do, if you're new to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button. And Reece as well, Reece's channel, Swansea Away Days, his channel as well, in bottom link. So please do hit subscribe because I know you got more subscribers than me, Reece. I'm not happy with that. I looked at your channel. You got more subs than me, so
I don't think I do.
You do. You got 3.9. I think it's 3.9 something.
I think I swear you were on 3.4 something.
No, you're on more than me. So people, Swansea fans, if there's anyone who hates Bish, unsubscribe to it.
You beat me to 3K, so I need to beat you to 4K.
Right, people, don't subscribe to Bish. I'm joking. Subscribe to Bish channel. Actually, there's a massive game tomorrow. Like, who are you? What players are you looking as a threat for Forest?
Definitely Glenn Murray, experienced player. Scored 2 in his debut against Wickham, didn't he? Not sure if he played against Bournemouth, but didn't score against Bournemouth. But Glenn Murray, experienced player. You might as well call you Brighton Forest at this stage. Now, I know you hate that comparison with your Watchdogs, but
listen. I don't care. I don't care if Bong, knock hard, and Roy scored tomorrow. I'd be happy. Don't care.
Glenn Murray's definitely a player I'm going to look out for. Knockout as well. He's had a couple of good games against us. I remember at the City ground, he should have scored. He had that great chance in the box, didn't he? Where he hit it straight at the goalkeeper. So I think Knockout's another big threat for Forest. And I think the other big threat, I'm going to have to pick someone out the back because I do like defenders. And I'll probably have to pick Joe Worrell, was linked with the Premier League move to Burnley. It did materialise, but he's a very good defender on his day. Captain, I believe, as well, or was captain when we did play them. So I'd say Glenn Murray, Anthony Knockout, Joe Worrell, and up front you got some ridiculous options. I know some of them haven't been firing, but at the start of the season, if you ask any Forest fans, your three strikers would be Glenn Murray, Lyle Taylor, Lewis Grabban. People at the start of the season would say they're the best three in the league. So you've got some great options up front.
As a Swansea fan, Reece, Chris Hughton came in. How do you think it's been going on so far?
It did take. I think it took Chris Hughton a while to really get his style stamped on the ground. But like I said in my preview, I think the players are really now taking the Hughton. I think he's really got his style solidified in the players. I think he's only lost like 1 game in 10. He's starting to push from that relegation zone as well. He's starting to push towards that mid-table top half. And I think next season's looking bright for Forest. If you can get rid of some players in the summer and bring in more players like Chris Hughton knows, like Glenn Murray, or maybe some younger players as well, I think Forest will have a good season next season. I think it's just about really getting the squad together, realising what squad he wants. And I think he's done that. You got rid of some players in January. I think you've got a ridiculous huge squad, don't you? So, I think Hughton, ridiculous huge squad. I think, Hughton is really starting to really show Forest fans how good of a manager he is.
Let's talk about your manager, Cooper. I know, like I said, everyone had, especially Twitter, everyone used to slate Cooper. Even you. I saw your
No, I've never slated Cooper.
You listen to me, right? People in the comments. Has anyone ever seen Bish slander Cooper? People in the comments, you slander Cooper. I've seen you slander.
I've given tactical criticism for lack of subs.
Hooter's the same. Hooter's the same.
I've never slated him I want him out, get at the club, he's crap. I've never said that. I've always been Cooper in. And not because his son watches my channel. Nothing to do with that. But he's the best man. He's the best manager in the league. Got manager of the month. I know there's a thing called manager of the month curse, but that's not going to happen. There's no such thing as a manager of the month curse.
No, let me talk about the Man City game. Like I said, if you do get promoted to Premiership, and yes, I know it's Man City. It's just FA Cup. It's just a one-off game. Do you think you're ready for the Premier League if you go up?
I don't see why not. I thought we, proved Man City why we're at the top of the Championship. At the end of the day, it was 1-0 at half time, which isn't too bad. We had a great chance to equalise as well. Bit of they capitalised on our mistakes in the end. When they scored 2 goals in the early second half, you're thinking, oh God, they're going to smash us here. But they didn't score for 40 minutes in that second half, and we got a goal. And we never looked like we were going to get something out of that game, but I think we showed what we can do. And when we played Man City last time, it was a similar scoreline really. So obviously we'd have to invest a lot more if we go for a Premier League. But we're going to verse easier teams than Man City, and Man City have beat teams in the Premier League like West Brom 5-0. So we've done all right there. We've scored, which is the main thing. We didn't really have an embarrassing result. At the end of the day, we got some experience as well. So I think it's a positive. Yes, you never want to lose, but I thought you played Man City considering you in the playoffs last year. What happened?
Here we go. Next time we play Swansea, I'm bringing Marley on because I know Marley is. No, I'm bringing Conor Moore. Yeah, I like him. He's my favorite YouTuber. But yeah, quick question, right? 2 more questions, Bish. Where do you I've asked you 3 times now this season, and this is the last time I'll say it. Right, where do you think you'll finish this season?
I'm never going to predict Swansea to finish as high because if I do that, you're just going to get a ton of abuse, and then you're just going to look like a right fool if it doesn't happen. Set your expectations low, and anything above that is a plus. So I'll go third. I did predict early on this season, before the season actually, Norwich, Brentford, my top 2. And look who's top 2 at the moment. You can shake your head, but
listen to me. No. This I disagree with you because as a Forest fan, like I said, Conor Hulan is a fantastic signing. And like you said,
he's 30. He can't play. I don't think he can play every week.
No. But listen to me. Conor Hulan I think he's a class player, and You beat Norwich. Was it 2 weeks ago? You beat. Was it 3-2?
2 weeks this Friday.
2 go. And look at that. You won 2-0. I personally think people in the comments. There's any Forest fans here. Where do you think Swansea will finish in the league? I personally think they'll get top 2. I think they'll come second. With the players that's got they got a good defence. They've got Gihey, Roberts, and what's my player? Is it Grimes?
Yeah, you love Grimes, don't you?
I love Grimes. I've always liked Grimes. He's a really good player. Grimes is, and Jamal. Like I said, I've always liked Jamal Lowe, and I just feel Swansea will finish second. And even Forest fans think like second place. No, second. Yeah, thanks for Belen. But yeah, but yeah, I just feel Swansea will finish second place in the league, and that's my opinion. But if you disagree, that's fine.
It just depends. I know it sounds silly, but it depends on injury. Norwich have out Wendy for 2 games. They didn't win. He's back now. They won 4-1 on the weekend. So I just think realistically, I think Brentford Norwich squad's just a little bit better. Norwich have got the experience, so I don't think anyone's questioning them going up. And it's just between Brentford and Swans. If we lose out to Brentford and we don't go up through the playoffs, I will cry. If Thomas Frank goes up and we don't, after last season, the channel's gone. The channel's going. I'm telling you now, if Swans do not get promoted this season, I'm never uploading again. I won't be able to handle the comments. Like you last season. Won't be able to handle it.
Oh, see, you're doing it again. You mentioned that game. No, let me put this in this. If no one saw, I know everyone saw my stream because it's still the most. No, it's the second most viewed now. If no one saw my Forest and Stoke game, see the last 10 minutes. If it was the last 10 minutes of mine and Bish channel, watch them together. It is insane.
We're never gonna. I don't think we'll see a final day like that. Maybe ever again.
Never again.
Not right there.
Never.
You were 5th on the day. We were 7th. We had more chance to catch up to Cardiff. You had 6 better goal difference than us. You conceded and we scored at the same time. If Sky did one of those retro things when they had 2 fans in a booth together, oh my god!
That was, like I said, for content wise, for people watching, I think it was brilliant. But for me personally, it was one of the worst days.
Imagine if you were at the ground. It probably would have been 100 times more. It
was absolutely dreadful, but it is what it is, and hopefully.
I'm just annoyed, really, because that vlog, because vlogs, a vlog, a last-minute winner, I reckon that would have had 20k plus, and yours would have had a lot as well, Oh, just.
It was awful. Last but not least, this. What's your prediction for tomorrow?
Like I said in my match preview with Doe, if you haven't checked that out already, subscribe to the most subscribed.
Yeah, go on, check.
Subscribe to the most vlogger who has more subscribers in the little preview. I had to get that in. But I think it'll be a tight game. You have been decent defensively of late. Not scoring too many goals, although you did beat Wickham by a large scoreline. But not like all East Midland clubs, like you'll probably know right now. They can't all beat Wickham. But I think we'll win just for the fact we've not played in a while. We'll need to win just to keep up with the others. I think Forest will give us a good game. I think they'll miss a few good chances, maybe a penalty miss, as Woodman loves a penalty save. But I'll go 1-0. I think a late goal from AU in the last 10 minutes. Andre poking up there. I'll go 1-0 Swans. I'm sure you'll disagree.
I just feel with our form, we've lost 1 in 10. And
we're unbeaten in 8.
So I'd be happy with a point. Because going to away to Swansea, like I said, the Swansea are doing fantastic, and I'd be happy for a point. That's me. I think that'd be a point. People are coming. What do you think the score will be? Reese will be joining me tomorrow after the game. It'll be about 9:15. People. So
hopefully, he didn't want to do a watch long. He was scared of that. He was too scared.
So people, it'll be about 9:15. Reese will be joining me. I'll get the tissues ready. So let's say it'll be Reese himself and another Forest fan as well to join. But Reese, it's a much pleasure for joining me for the 3rd time this season.
And whatever happens tomorrow, if there's a goal, just look out for doers.
You'll get
doers tomorrow.
Well, Reece, it's been a pleasure, and thank you again, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you later.
Cheers, dude. Cheers, dude. So yeah, thank you, Bish. That's his YouTube channel is linked below. But I've got another Forest fan. People will know who he is. His name is Ryan Freebie. Everyone on Twitter will know who he is. He's a guy that sings songs for Forest. He's a front cover of as well Copper 90 as well. This guy's a legend. He sings songs about Forest. And you've got to watch this guy. He's really active on Twitter as well, like myself. And we're going to talk about Forest, about his opinion about everything that we'll talk about. But yeah, this guy is a legend, and I do appreciate for taking his time and coming to my channel. And like I say, I want everyone to give a warm welcome to the Freebie.
Hello, mate. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
That's good. This normally works having the old gaming headset with this, and so I was just double checking, mate. Yeah.
How you doing, mate? How you doing?
Yeah, all right, mate. Not too bad. Just looking at the scores at the minute, seeing if Derby are going to lose at Wickham or the draw in a minute.
Is it still 1-1?
Still 1-1. And Sheffield Wednesday lost as well. So
that's not
right.
Bad. So this, like I said, this is Ryan. Before we do start, Ryan, I know people will know you. You've got a YouTube channel, and explain, what do you do on YouTube?
Do you know what? I was just actually thinking that when you mentioned it to me earlier on. I don't know if my YouTube is kind of my most vibrant place, because I did it initially. I guess it's where it all started, but I kind of left it behind. So Twitter was just, 100 people maybe following and just mouthing off about Forest and getting annoyed and, all the other stuff that we do. And then I'd recorded a song. Remember when it was all to do with Fowler signing that deal?
Yeah,
and
that's the first one, was it?
Couldn't find a pen. So yeah, I did a Mulligan Tyre in the style of, get a pen found. And the thing is, I've done music for a lot of years, so I was kind of, I know that if you put something on YouTube and if you've covered something, you would just put written by whatever. But yeah. I didn't do any of that, because I just thought, well, it'd be just 100 people. And then the next morning, Paul McCartney's people are messaging me going, "You've had 15,000 views overnight. We need to monetize this." I was like, so I was like, "Oh, hello. So what's happened here?" And then obviously the Forza lads got involved and got me to come and sing at games and stuff. And then from there, it's become nice. It's been through ups and downs in life. It's been a real nice thing. I mean, obviously you get your idiots, as you know yourself, but yeah, it's always outweighed by people who. Do you know what it is, Ben? Football's tribal, and we're a herd. Yeah. And to stand up on your own and sort of do something is a bit uncomfortable. Like when we marched on the City ground before the Villa game, and everyone's going free to sing a song. And I go to football to be part of it, not to just be me, look at me. And that's been the hard bit about it. But at the same time, no one else was doing songs about it. And when you see people sending you pictures of them and their kids looking at it on the TV, and it's bringing them joy in what's been crap times a lot of the time, it felt nice, mate, and it felt like I belonged to something. So that's it. But yeah, YouTube, I think it's under, I don't know which one it's under. It might be under Freeves the Tree. I'll check for you before we end this, and that's where I'll put in most of the stuff I'm doing now anyway. So.
Yeah. Let's have the people, Freeves channel, it is in the link in the description, so please go and check his channel. Like it's fantastic songs he does, and he does it as well on Twitter. I've watched quite a lot of it on Twitter, so when you do get time after stream, go and please subscribe to his channel. The link, link is below. That's it's the first time you've been on my channel, and I want to speak to you. Like I said, you're very active on Twitter. You talk about Forest just like myself. And what's your stance on what age are you, Ryan? Are you the same age as me?
How old are you?
36.
I'm 40.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay. We play safe then. We've been there. Like I said, we've seen the UEFA. I don't know if you must have seen the end of the Champions League.
Yeah, I was there. I was born 81, so we were just on the bit of a decline from where we were. But I was there for Bayern Munich at home. I was there in that European Cup run. So yeah, I've seen good and bad, my friend. Yeah.
So I've seen the goods as well. We was there when Forest won the league in 97-98 under Dave Bassett, and since then we've had some good moments. Well, a little bit good moments, but the rest has been down. As a Forest fan, give me your opinion. What's your opinion on everything that's been going off?
It's tough, isn't it? Because we saw other people before us having this trouble with the chairman and stuff like that. And I must admit, I remember I was working in London when they said Forest is being bought out by Fawaz Al-Hattawi, and I'm sure, like you did, we started googling him and trying to find out. And we'd seen what happened at Man City, and we were like, well, you know, you could argue that we've got a richer pedigree in some ways than Man City, you know, in terms of what we've done. So I've always thought that Forest. In League One, we were European Cup winning Nottingham Forest, and you heard it every game, and every team was playing the double European Cup winners. In the Championship, you don't hear it, and in the Premier League, if I've gone abroad, and I'm sure you've had it as well, people have heard of Forest and heard of Clough and God knows what. I still think that Forest are a provincial middle, you know, Championship team. That's where Clough found them. I think we're kind of back where we were. You know, we had a little bits of stuff, 1898, 1950s, but realistically, they've not been your Arsenals, you know, your Chelsea, stuff like that. Well, not actually much Chelsea, but you know, your Man United, Liverpool. Let's put it in that bracket.
Yeah.
We're not a massive club. Now, what I found, there was a bit of a hangover I felt after we come down the last time under Atkinson, and that a lot of fans didn't realise kind of the size of what we were, and I think a lot of people thought we had a divine right to be there. As soon as I got that out of my system, it felt like I could enjoy Forest a bit more. Now, League One, I never want to enjoy again. I know people said we went to different grounds and stuff, but Megson and that, it was just horrendous. It was.
They mentioned Megson. I don't know if you've seen the bit about Megson today.
Yeah.
They mentioned Megson.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Platt and Megson, between them and Kinnear and all that business, it was kind of. Forest have been under the shadow of Clough for a long time, and it's in a good and a bad way. You know what I mean? So I think supporting him now as a fan in the Twitter world, you know, I did another thing with that lad Luke, and he was on about him, and some other younger lads were saying, "Oh, my first game was Colchester and this and that."
Yeah.
And you forget that, you know, a lot of people are in their 20s. I did a poll on Twitter about when was the last time you thought it was entertaining, and people said Billy was the last time we felt like we actually took teams apart, and when we go out to a game, we'd go, "We're going to win this 3-4-0." That's 10 years ago. So like, imagine if you're now, you know, say you're 20 now, that was 10. You were 10. So it's like it's a tough one, because there's a lot of opinions. Like I do the podcast with Alan March, and that we do Forever Forest. Yeah. And obviously I do the radio on Mondays with the Terrace on Radio Nottingham. And it's funny because you have to have slightly different heads on for both of them. You know, even maybe Aaron,
professional head.
Yeah, I've got the head that one day I might like them to employ me. but like at the end of the day, what both of them were saying was about this ball draw and this thing with, you know, the game against Bournemouth. And what I've decided, there's two big things I've tried to do this season. One of them is try and not go on Twitter or text anyone during the game, maybe half-time, maybe full-time, because not only do you not watch the game, Steve Corrie, who I'm on the thing with, got a lot of time for Steve, and he was saying it, just put your phones down during the game. You'll enjoy the game more. And I found that's helped. Second one is because as soon as you come off and you think, actually, I think we're all right against Bournemouth, and you see someone going, awful, drab, why is he not making subs? And you just go, pfft. It's like bum holes, putting it nice. I don't know if you swear on here, Ben, so I'll keep it clean. Feel free.
Feel free.
It's like fucking arseholes. So the thing is, it's kind of there's that one. The second one is you find that when you tweet stuff these days, you have to do this thing where you know, if you've got a modicum of intelligence about you, you've already run it through your head before you have an opinion. You don't just brain fart, right? When we beat Wickham, I thought we looked good. Right. But in my head, I'm going, they're not the best team in this league. They're probably League One fodder for next season. I've already done that calculation. So when I say we were good today, I know the first comment is going to be, it's only Wickham. I've already done that. And it's starting to drive me mad that this is how my tweet would then have to go. I know they're not the greatest team in the league, but it's like, I don't want to have to do that anymore. So I'm trying to free myself from the shackles of opinions and God knows what. But you don't want to come across as an arsehole who's just like, I think this, I think that, because you know full well there's a lot of people who just do it sensationalist. They just want to say something for an effect, whatever they do. And ultimately, that's what the block button's about. And remember this, kids, folks, men, women, everyone who's listening, your cat, your dog, your social media is completely dictated by who you follow. So let's say you follow the Ku Klux Klan on Instagram and the Nazis over here and the communists over here. You're going to have different points of view to all these bigots in different ways. So what your out view on the world, like Brexit was a big one, where if you followed a load of Remainers and you were Leave, you felt lonely. But if you follow a load of you know what I mean? It's just football. And these are tough times. But what I have to say myself is, in stuff that's happened to me this year, and it's been really hard, is that people jump all over you and actually really lovely. And not that you're crying out for it, but the way that the support of mental health and stuff like that has been with Forest and the community has actually been a wonderful thing. I think you asked me about Forest. I think I've gone to about 7 different places, but I'm trying to be pro Ben. Where you are, mate.
Ryan, feel free. Like I said, it's all about your opinion. People, if there's any questions for Ryan, put them in the comments so I can ask Ryan. You touched on it, like mentioned about, like, in my opinion, like, we've seen it, we've done it, and Twitter, like, it can be toxic when Forest lose, and especially with the young generation, they've not seen nothing good. And what is your opinion? Like, I won't say just Forest. I think you can say teams in the Championship. You mentioned Sheffield Wednesday or Derby, like, especially Forest fans. Like, do you feel sorry for them of being frustrating, or do you think sometimes it's like you're going over the top now? Or I don't know. What's your say on it, Ryan?
Well, the example is England 1966. Remember when Euro 96 was on? What a great summer that was. And we were all like, Jules Rimet, 30 years of hurt. And I had a bit of relevance. I think on a VHS, I had England 4, Germany 2, and, you know, all that kind of business. And it was something that, you know, meant something to me because we'd won it. But then I started going, it doesn't matter to me, 1966. It's not my generation. It might as well not have happened. And I started getting a bit like that with the European Cup. Now, I Believe in Miracles was great to watch. It made you feel really good inside, and it made you see what an amazing achievement. It's more about a love letter to Clough than anything, realistically, because those, you know, we didn't see them games. I was just thinking the other day, I saw Trevor Francis score a goal on something the other day, and I think that's the first goal I've seen him score that wasn't in the European Cup ever, because I just always see that goal, and he was before my generation. I think that anything that kind of went before, it's all to do with what you see now. So that if the kids, and I don't mean kids in derogatory manner, because, you know, I'm just in good on you if you're young, because enjoy it, because it soon disappears. Enjoying it. But it's I think that it's a different world. I was talking to somebody the other day about school and saying, God, do you imagine like the craft we had to try and pull at school. We had to go and talk to girls, and we had to, like, you know, or someone might leave a note in your pocket and stuff like that. Whereas now you can just, but then someone might, but also they can get bullied to crap, which I was on TV a lot as a kid. Mum put me on a lot of TV, and I got quite hammered for that. So can you imagine, like, nowadays it'd just be like, you know, you do a song or you try and do a podcast or whatever you do, and what you got to remember is, mate, a lot of the time you're standing out by doing that. You know, me and you have had these conversations when there's stuff towards you as well, and it's not that for those listening that Ben comes saying, I need someone to support me, because you got your own broad shoulders. But for those of you who think about, you know, being like that with people, or even players as well. I remember Matt Mills on Instagram with his family, and I thought, people are giving him crap, and he's just playing football. That's all he's doing. But I don't rate Cyrus Christie at all, but I don't wish him ill as a person. I don't believe he goes on that pitch trying to give the ball away 38 times. He just does. And he's just not good enough for me. But this whole world that we live in is fairly toxic, and my daughter's 5 months old, and I wonder what the world will be like when she's our age. If it'll be, you know, she'll probably have a microchip that can just update her thoughts. But I think football in general is, everyone's got an opinion, but that doesn't really realistically mean it's of any value. It's kind of, you know, it's oversaturated. You can. It's a bit like adverts. How many times do you get an advert that you hide, or if you do, you can't stop that. That wave is going to constantly keep going. So I kind of feel that, and I don't mean this as just in myself, but football, Twitter in particular, you can make that a nice little feed. I love it when I see an opinion that I think is really considered. Might not agree with it, but I'll follow that. And what's funny is when we've done, like, for those who don't know, last year we did a cover of You've Lost That Loving Feeling with a load of fans involved and stuff during lockdown, trying
make sure people, like I say, it's on Ryan's channel, make sure people watch this after streaming. It's really good. And because the best bit about it, you got Matchday Max on it, and I curse him every single time, because he says to me, "Man, I can't sing. I'm like, just go on it. Just go on it.
Yeah, he told me that.
You're having fun, and that's how it is." But
he told me that, and I agreed with him. I went, no, but it's just like, but it's the thing is, my dad's even on it, and he's, you know, he's trying to do a tune as well. Bless him. And but the thing about it was just bringing folk together with it, really. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of the point of it was realistically that we could have a thing where we all sort of belong to something, really. Oh, by the way, I think randomly, to anyone who doesn't get it, when I moved to Brighton to do music, I didn't think Ryan Freebury was a very good rock and roll name, so I changed it to Rye Byron. So if you're wondering who the hell Rye Byron is, that's my alter ego of doing my own music, which is, you know, another thing. But even that's an example. Like, my old man's always saying to me, you should tell them Forest fans about your own music and stuff, you know. And I said, I can't. And it's two reasons why. First of all, it's off when we were crap under the Fawaz stuff. I didn't want to use the plight of Forest being crap to try and go, by the way, buy my album, you know, and stuff. And it isn't about that. It was about us, you know, like I do the songs. We've got a Chris Cohen one that's just come out on the Forever Forest podcast in the style of Oasis. And and Kieran does the videos and stuff for them. And do you know what? For a little short 2-3 minutes, it's, you know, people enjoying seeing Sammy Amiobi in the style of the Wenger boys and God knows what. But it's football is. You see, I've got enough pro in me, Ben, that I'm trying to come back to the question all the time. Football as a game, I don't like as much as I did. And you know, I remember getting my Panini sticker album, going down the welcome in Skeg with my mate, and Two Trees, which is still there. And you pick 5 players, and you'd have 5 shots, and I'd have 5 shots. And we do an FA Cup and everything, and you'd be, I'm Kevin Horlock now, and I'm Ian Rush, and you try and miss and all this kind of stuff. But it's those, I see too much diving. I don't like the cheating element of simulation. I don't like how ex-pros call it. It's the game, you don't understand. Because if I started playing Monopoly and rolling 3 dice, you'd say I was cheating. So how come it's okay for them to dive? You know, I would do a 10-match ban. I know it sounds dramatic, but now they've got all of these video cameras and God knows what with VAR. If it was proven that there's no contact, ban them for 10 games. That's a massive amount of a season. You'd nip it in the bud. But it's the opinions I don't particularly always like, mate. And it's the football and the money's took it more and more and more from what it was. In the working class bally, as we used to think it was in the old days, it's probably gone. But I think there's so much it could do. Look at the mental health. Look at the way, you know, homophobia, racism, sexism. I mean, even the thing they're asking on the radio about the Black Lives Matter thing and Lyle Taylor and stuff. And I'm sure you've had your own opinions on it as well. Being a man who's a little bit darker than me, Ben, you might have more of an opinion than me.
You know what? I've got
me, and I'm like,
listen, I've got a bunch of opinions about it, but is it going to be? Am I going to say about it? No, because it's not. It's like me personally, racists will never go. Like when the stuff happened on YouTube, like I wasn't even bothered about it. I wasn't really bothered till someone put it on Twitter, and I thought to myself, you know what? I forgot about that. But
do you find that people want to often? It seems to me that some people just want to fight. You know, I remember there was a thing about we're going well off Forest here, but you can drag us back in a minute.
It's okay.
About, we don't want Jesus on the Christmas stamps. The Muslims had said this, and I remember my mate at the time going, who's Indian, he's going, I don't know who's saying this. He said, it's like I don't know who's fighting that battle for anyone who thinks that. And I often sometimes feel like that there's maybe some people get on the bandwagon that isn't actually theirs to do. Mine's simple. Just don't be a dick. Don't be a dick to each other. Don't realize what actually makes a human or a man or a woman, what is an important value in them. And also, you know, because Tyson Fury, saw stuff with him where he's on about his wife doing this in the kitchen and this and that. And I was just like, it's so ancient and it's so toxic. And it's kind of, but as you say, mate, there'll always be someone who finds it that they just don't like you because you're succeeding and you've got different skin to me. So that's a great reason for me to slap you down. And it's horrid. I mean, I think Twitter needs to go down the line of being verified differently. I think because there's so many nameless people. I've had a fake account, someone made up of me. And then initially you kind of go in.
I've had loads, but I just ignore them. I just like, I think we've like, I'm just like you, right? I'm a Forest fan. We're passionate Forest fans. We've got, a broadcast, like I got my broadcast, you've got yours, you've on so many podcasts, you've been on BBC, but there's always going to be 1 or 2 people that are upset for whatever reason. Like I don't understand how a man can be jealous of a different man. I don't get it. Like, yeah, people can see this about me, but I'm just like, I've got broad shoulders now. I've learned how to deal with people, especially like I said, I think it's the younger people like who attack me, and like I said, I've learned. I've had loads of advice from footballers, ex-footballers, what to say, don't to say, and just don't respond to them. And I don't know if you know, I don't block people on Twitter because I just don't. I don't know why. It's a habit. But
my mate loves it. My mate Fudge is a big Wednesday fan. He's been my best mate for years, and he says I actually like it when someone calls me a C. He said I quite like. He does podcasts, so he said it makes me feel like I've riled you enough to. He doesn't go out to do that. I mean, you know, he's quite a likable chap. But I think for me, the only line that crossed was when they used a picture of me and my granddad as the picture, because because that was my picture. But at the same time, it was kind of like just fuck off, man. There's no. I don't just go and do something yourself. Anyway, I feel like we're giving them way too much airtime, and I think
no, you know what it is, right? I think like before let me finish this. Like people like, I don't mind people saying things about me. I don't like people can say about me or my podcast or my channel. They can say whatever. But when Michael had the coronavirus, I had a picture
Yeah,
and I mentioned it on my vlog. Like I said, people can do the dirt about me. Like I said, I've learned how to not ignore it. But when people mention about my family, that's crossing the line. And
yeah, big time.
the person, like that, I think there's one or two people who said it, and you know it was right. And I don't want to give people airtime. The person apologized to me 4 days later. Inboxed me and said, "I apologize. I didn't mean to." They wanted to be what other people were saying, and I think so. You know what? You're young.
But you made a point, mate, because most people don't stand away.
Derby scored.
Oh, bollocks!
Oh, for freak's sake, Derby scored.
We got to remember, most people don't want to stand away from the crowd. They're scared to do it. So actually stand up. Imagine being David Bowie in 1972 when you're walking around the middle of south of London and you're wearing like women's clothes and you've got long hair and stuff. And imagine the crap he got. But he went, no, this is me. This is what I want to do. And there's nothing wrong with it. I saw it when we played Wickham. And my dad's got right long hair. He always has done. He's always been, you know, he says it's the Nottingham in him, it's the rebel in him, all this kind of stuff and whatever. But I didn't see him doing that in Snenton when he was growing up. But anyway, the thing is, it's that's installed in me is just to be who you are, right? And I knew when we played Wickham, you'd see this amount of people going like, look at the state of their manager with his long hair and his other jacket. I was like, he's just wearing a fucking jacket. He's just into rock and roll. You don't do it when some like, you know, Paul Pogba's doing this ridiculous dancing. Everyone's going, look at the Pogba. He's so cool. I'm like, why has he got something on his shoulder? What's wrong with you? And it's like, if that's what he thinks is cool and his culture think is cool and his friends think it's cool. Do you know what? If I could put a line under all of this and if anyone could ever hear this and take it on board, if someone's doing something that's making them smile and making them happy, if it's not for you, block it. I can't stand Ed Sheeran. I can't stand Coldplay. I can't stand a lot of modern R&B, hip hop stuff. I can't. It's just not my thing. Do you know what I do? It's not aimed at me. It's not aimed at me.
Do you like Coldplay?
Mate, I'm all about tipsy. I'm back there. You know what I mean? Now that's surprising. You didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. Good tipsy. Now that's where we're talking.
I like Coldplay. I don't know why, but
no, I don't either. But each to your own. I'm not going to start sagging your foot, Ben. You need your ears looking up. You're right. No, I'm joking. It's different strokes for different folks, and I don't often want to give this too much time because it sounds like you're bleating with it. I'm not. I've made a lot of nice friends, met a lot of people who have inspired me to do stuff as well. And actually, you know, doing the podcast stuff is great with Alan and those guys. It's great, and I really look forward to it every week. And the BBC is a different thing because obviously they've got me and Lisa on initially to try and be free. Yeah, and we've ended up disagreeing most of the time. So it's just always like, yeah, we don't actually disagree because we're both kind of level. But yeah, that's that.
So we're going to talk about this season, and I know, as you know, Limucci got sacked. We hired Chris Hughton. What was your opinion on Chris Hughton when we hired him?
I thought it was good. I thought it was either him or Eddie Howe were two of the best options you could have got at that time. Hughton, I had a bit. One of my mates, Dave's a big Newcastle fan, and we were chatting about it at the time. And I said, I think I could have got Newcastle up straight after. But what you got to remember is there's always a pressure there, and obviously they still have fans in. I think, you know, I do get why people go. I don't care that he's a nice man and people like him. And you can see the headline now, can't you? Forest, trigger happy Forest, sack lovely man Chris Hughton, if it ever happens. I like the bloke. I like how he talks. So, you know, I didn't dislike Lamouchi at all. I really was. I didn't know who the hell he was, but you know, I always give everyone a chance. If you step over that line wearing a red shirt, I'm behind you. Whether I think, Anthony Knockaert, I've despised for years. Billy Davis, I didn't like, but you kind of got to go. He's now our horrible little dwarf. And I don't know. I've probably crossed about 7 lines there about calling someone a dwarf now. But at the same time, it's kind of. I like him. I don't know if the brand of football. I do like your gung ho football. I used to play up front as a kid, so I do like a lot of. I'd rather lose 7-6 and have a good go. But you know, I pine the days of 4-4-2 have gone. I don't like one up top. I used to hate doing it myself. I used to hate having to have the ball into my chest, bring someone in. But at the minute, mate, we're in a situation where beggars can't be choosers. We've gone on that run and we're still only 5 points away. So as mate Fudge said to me as a Wednesday fan, when we're Forest just going to fucking die and let us get out of this situation. So you got to remember it demoralises them as well that we've been doing all right. It's a shame we're not further up, but we've dragged the middle of the table down into us. And I think ultimately, mate, those 3 signings in the midfield, you know exactly what I'm talking about, have actually made a massive difference. And I think I'll be interested to see what happens next year. Anyone around Brighton where I live here, I'll come showing this is Brighton. They're all very jealous we've got him in lots of ways because they loved him to bits. But obviously they would do because he got him promoted. So I've got a lot of time for him, mate. And I went a little bit a couple of weeks ago. I think it was a Barnsley game. So we've drawn, we've got a clean sheet, but I was really pissed off. I just thought we would die. I just thought it was there was no heart. I wanted to see something that made me think next season was going to be different, or they were going to, if it really come down to the last game, they're going to have that fight. There's no excuses anymore of the last season overhanging or being a hangover, because I think enough of those players are now not actually in the team and stuff like that. And obviously the Lamouchi things happened, but Lamouchi was dead because of that. But Houghton, Calderwood said, give me 10 games, I think, when we got promoted out of League One. And I've tried to do that with most managers since. I think 10 games is a good amount of time to see what's going on. And Houghton, I've got to admit, he's quietly done it. Somebody said to me on Twitter after I moaned about Barnsley, we're unbeaten in 7 or something. And I didn't even realise we've been so shit. But I
didn't even know myself. I think we've unbeaten in 9 games. We've unbeaten? No, we've lost 1. We've lost 1 in 10.
10 now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, you can't argue with that. And thank God we had, because we would be right in it if we hadn't done that. I mean, I think the problem was, Ben, there was a lot of people who were seeing, like I was, a lot of draws. There wasn't like 3 wins in a row that were scraping in. And the performances were so bad that you just didn't see anything remotely getting better. This game coming up, which I'm no doubt you're going to go into, is a real litmus test, because it's hard, because you can't really judge it in the FA Cup for me because of the amount of players they changed. But they're a pretty good side. I think Swansea play some lovely football. I think the 2 top scorers, I think, have got 9. If you look at Tony, who's got 20 odd, it shows that they spread it around. And that's a game tomorrow night that I actually expect us in some ways to get nothing out of. So if we do, it's a bonus, and I'd happily take the same as Saturday.
Sorry to disturb you. We've got a Derby fan called Lisa. She's piping up because Derby scored in the 90th minute. So
well, I mean, it's good to celebrate something, Lisa. So it's good.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased for you. It all depends what happens at the end of the season, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Ryan, like I said, it's been a dreadful season. I think it is. No, we've had a little one or 2 good moments, but
no, it's been dreadful. It's been dreadful, especially last season. It's
been dreadful. You know what? I try to be positive, but I could try and do as much as I can. But like we've got so many players. I seen today, like we've got 24 players, and even like players like Harry Arter, Michael Dawson, are not the 24. What's your opinion on all that?
Harry Arter, I'm 99% certain told a player not to join our club. I mean, I've heard that from a source where, and this is the other one on Twitter. You say something and let's say you've been talking to Johnny Owen or someone like that. I haven't, but let's say you were talking to them and this is something, and someone's going, where'd you get your source from? And you're thinking, I'm never going to tell you that. But at the same time, I know. But I guess you see so many, ITK things that people are right to question it. I'm pretty sure Harry Arter, from the stuff I'd heard, had told, is it Goslin not to come?
Yeah, Goslin. Yeah.
It's just so shit. Because he wasn't like he was pulling up trees on the pitch. He was playing poor, and then he's told someone it's undermining. Imagine your boss at your job going, got this new lad joining us, he's really good, and you've gone, don't bother. Doesn't make the company better. It's like, that's awful. So for me, I'm not surprised we've not seen him since that, to be honest.
That's the thing, like I know, like I'm not gonna lie, when Harry Arter did sign, I thought, what a signing. I think
me too.
Yeah, and like he's not done nothing at all. And are you not slightly disappointed that he's not in the 25, or like you thought to yourself, because like we've got players like Cafu, I know we can mention like Cafu, we've got David Gardner, Kurinovic has started to play okay as well. Like, are you not disappointed Hayata's not coming to the team? Like, we might need him. We might need him. I don't know.
I'm disappointed that someone who I definitely, like you, thought would have been quite good has not been. I thought even when we got Christie, I didn't know a lot of him. I didn't even remember he was at bloody Derby, which is terrible. But because I let him slip under the radar with that one, we didn't get him hosed down with like acid first to make sure that he was all right and clean. But no, it's a lot of them signings. I thought great. Lyle Taylor caused us a right load of trouble last season. I thought, and I know Charlton fans really highly rated him, and even though they're pissed off with how he went, and I was going, yeah, these are good signings. But what we didn't realise, none of us, is that we'd made 700 of them. And it completely mixed up the. You've also got your bomb squad, as people like to call them, your Michael Heffler, your Clough. I mean, I know it's difficult because we love him as a Forest player. What's Michael Dawson doing? There's so many centre backs there. You can't knock it because the lads, if you say to me, here's your money, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Go, no, I'll keep it, get it charity. They're not going to do that because it's a short career. But at the same time, I don't dismiss that either. So Harry Arter's not done it on the pitch, Ben. Let's just go a line under that. I don't think I've seen any been quite saddened and surprised how shit he's been. And then obviously with this added stuff as well, I just don't want him anywhere near it. It's toxic. So he doesn't surprise me. I think they've done well to get a few of them out. I think Dore'S was a strange one just because none of us could see Christie was ripping up trees. So we were a little bit like, why? Who is the competition? Because Jenkinson, you know, I hadn't seen him since Swansea, I think, when he fell over the ball, whatever he did.
Yeah, I've seen him.
So it seems to me almost like, because Bong is a perfect example of how you could say, well, how do people get in the, someone said it on the radio the other day, how do you get in the team if he's not making a sub in 90 minutes? And the question is, Bong wasn't getting in that team for Ribeiro, and then he got his chance and he took it. So, and I don't think he's, again, I'm not saying Bong's been ripping up trees, but he's been solid enough. And, you know, could talk about that left back for ages, to be honest with you, mate. But
let me mention about Pepper. Like I said, you just mentioned Bong. Like he's as Brighton play for what are you surprised that he's ahead of Ribeiro? I know people mentioned it.
It's difficult, right? So it's a hard one. I think Yuri Ribeiro definitely was better last season. I think
100%.
I think he will admit in the games he's played he was better this season. I also think that we're talking a bit about social media as we were. I've just seen a message there on your comments thing saying I do actually like shipping better than fridges, just about. Thanks for that. It will take a lot from the shipping people to really make me prefer fridges. So let's just keep going out. Thanks for remembering the tune as well. Social media building things up, right? So I guess you and I could both argue that without it, we wouldn't be kind of enjoying what we do. And it's not like me and you sat in our golden mansions, but you know, I definitely wouldn't have had, you know, a lot of the mates and stuff I don't know, whatever, met the people I done if it wasn't for doing my tunes. And likewise, you know, you're doing stuff with pros and stuff like that, ex-pros. So we both have to sort of not have an issue with the social media stuff. But how many times did you see Yuri Ribeiro running down that pitch in that clip? Now, I fully believe there is a certain amount of our fan base who still think he should play just because of that clip. Don't get me wrong, but the annoying thing is, Ben, I think players should bloody all be doing that. And that's the annoying thing. I think Ribeiro hasn't really got, I've got nothing against the lad. And do you know what? If you swapped him for Bong, it's not like I'd be going, oh my God. Do you know what I mean? And I think Bong's done himself a lot of good as well. So I'm quite happy with either of them coming in. And it's right back. We've then obviously got the other stuff to look at as well. But someone asked again the other day, Ben, just to add on the end of this point, how do you feel for Alex Mighton not getting on? I support Nottingham Forest. I don't support Mighton FC. So realistically, you know, I know we might have a favourites. You know, you've got rid of Stuart Pearce in the middle of the season, or Stan. I've been going, oh bloody hell, I love them players. But Alex Mighton will do well, and we will have a career with Forest. But if it's not just right this second, I want Forest to survive and give him a place in a league that he can shine, and not being in League One, because we have to play him like Matt Thornhill or someone like that. Bless him.
Yeah. Two more questions, Ryan, and I get this question every single time about. As you know, Forest have been in the Championship and as well League One. And at the start of the season, everyone says, "Oh, it's our season, it's our year." Blah blah blah. Don't you get sometimes fed up with it, saying, "Just chill out, let the season start, and then see what happens"? Do you get that?
Yeah, I'd love to say it if I wasn't one of them, because at the end of last season, you know, mate, I know how you felt. I saw your picture at the end of last season, and that's Stoke, and I was living in this place with this Arsenal fan. I kept coming down, and he's going, "How's it going?" He said, "No, you'll be all right. You'll be all right." I went, "It's going wrong. It's going wrong." And I was just, you know, we all had that moment where we're just staring into the abyss. And I think that you then start believing. You see your Harry Arters, you see these signings coming, your Lar Taylor, and I went, 7th last season. Yeah, come on, lads, let's kick on. We've got some steel. Scott McKenna, somebody messaged me and went, "You're going up." I now support Forest because of Scott McKenna. This is because that lad is Premier League quality. You've signed an absolute peach, and I believe that. I think McKenna is different gravy. But
someone likes your beard, Ryan. Just thought.
Yeah. Do you know what's really remotely quite funny about this? I'm not a big fan of being cool, and I was ill in hospital for a month. A couple of years back, and when I come out of hospital, my sister who lives in London was like, "You're very on trend now," and I was like, "I'm lazy. I'm lazy. That's what it is." And also, I'm carrying a bit too much timber, Ben, so it makes your face look a bit longer.
I've got the dad. Listen to me. Your dad bag will come soon, so don't worry about it. I'm already there, so don't worry about it. Let's carry on. Let's talk about. Like I said, I just mentioned about you've been there 23 years, and you always get the same old nonsense. It's Forest season. Like,
yeah, but it's not, is it? It's not. It hasn't been for 20 plus years, like you said yourself. So it's the hope that kills you, and there's a reason that's a phrase. And listen, the whether we think social media at times can be toxic, can be full of absolute jebens. It's we've all got one thing in common. Whether you're an absolute ratbag who's stealing out of cars, or if you're someone who's a saint giving money to the poor, if you support Forest, you want Forest in the top flight. You want Forest to win every single competition going, and that is the unity. That's our church, as it were.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, of course, it's natural to do that. And to be honest, it doesn't feel very fun, does it? To go, I actually think we're going to come 10th. It's just like there's no fun in that. You know, they ask me for predictions on stuff, and I go 3-0. I don't know. I don't know often. I'm crap at gambling, Ben. So I'll just, I'll just have a.
Well, I better not ask you the result for tomorrow. Then that's out of the question. Then.
Oh, I've already decided on that one. It's going to be 2-2.
Ryan, I said exactly the same. I said exactly.
I added a caveat, Ben, which was we will have a goal. We'll go 3-2 up, and it'll be disallowed, and it'll be really dodgy, and everyone will go on for it for about 3 weeks. There you go.
Last but not least, I know. Are you going to say the same answer? Everyone says, like, how much do you miss going to, especially to the City Ground?
Yeah, well, it's a funny one because I think for me, I've been a bit of a Forest fan in exile for a long time. Anyway, so as a kid growing up in Skeggs, Forest was a treat every now and then. Probably got to see him 2 or 3 games a month, maybe. No, maybe less than that. Maybe once a month, maybe, because it's a couple of hours in it to Skeggs. So then moving down to Brighton, I felt completely like I was a million miles away from it. And I had season ticket at the end of Platt and the start of Hart. So a really crappy period where we didn't really do anything as the back of the Trent end. And then I had season ticket, obviously, a couple of seasons back where I used to come up from Brighton. But so for me, it hasn't been the bread and butter that as for a lot of you people in Nottingham who've gone to every game. So for me, it's not as bad as it probably would be for a lot of you who can walk to the ground, or God knows what, if you live in West Bridgford, or if you own a castle. I think, judging by West Bridgford's prices last time I was looking there, I think it's I still miss it though, mate. I still miss the thought of, I was saying to the lads on the podcast the other day, a lot of them I've not met, and it's just like I can't wait to actually come and go. Give us a look. Give us a, let me buy you a pint. There's a lot of people who, you'll know yourself as well, have got me through some crap over the last year, and they don't often realise quite how much they have. So I think, do you know what? I was going to mention that. Someone's mentioned about the burger van. There was a kid who used to stand with an older bloke selling hot dogs on Trent Bridge on the Notts County side.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you knew you were old by the time that when you started going to the games later on, that kid was like a man. And I remember taking people to see Forest with me and go, come see Forest. And I go, right, there'll be a kid here and he's going to sell you a hot dog. And I have that, and I get my program here, as if I was like some old pro. And I don't know who they are or what they do, but yeah, whoever you are, if you ever get this to them, the old man and the kid selling hot dogs on the Trent Bridge, thank you very much for making me fan.
Well, there's a question from Ethan. Here's a question for you lot: Joe Worrall or Scott McKenna, and Joe Lolly and Connor. Who do you like of them two?
I mean, I really am not one for blowing smoke up the arse, but I think Scott McKenna is a genuine article. I think Worrall has come back much stronger, by the way, but especially from being at Rangers. But McKenna, to me, if he can sort out his biscuit knees or whatever it is, I think got injured in training this last time. It just looks quality, mate. I mean, Figs has got better recently, but comparing,
he's got so much hate. I think he's a scapegoat most of the time, but
he was colossal at the end of last season. I thought he was great at the end of last season. I loved the man. I was very close to having a model made out of butter of him. I don't know why I said that. That's a random thing. But he's just not look, mate. I mean, you saw him against Bournemouth, and he was better. But there's times when he was on the ball, and I just thought he's going to give it away, or what he's going to do. And we can all make mistakes. That's what life's about. But for me, the answer to that one is I have Worrall and McKenna in my back two that I'd go for. But out of the two of them, I think McKenna has more of a long-term career. Lolly and Anthony Knockaert. Knockaert is somebody I've hated for most of his career. I think he's a little weasel, and I've never liked him. Never liked him at Brighton. Never liked him anywhere he's gone, especially at Leicester. Joe Lolly's an absolutely stand-up bloke. Seems all right.
Do you hate Knockaert? Because remember that I think it was Billy Davies' second season when he scored in was it the 94th minute when Leicester scored? I hated him then. I
hated him before. I mean, I've just hated him a long time. So for me, on a personal level, I don't know him. He's probably very lovely. Probably makes a lovely croissant. Joe Lolly's just a major disappointment for me because speaking to Huddersfield fans, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm glad you got him. He did nothing," and then he's set up, done really well for us, and they've gone, "Bloody hell, we didn't see that coming." I think Joe Lolly, I don't know if I know he's had some very strange injuries, some stuff that's been actually longer term stuff up there.
I think he's. I know he's had personal issues.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely had personal issues. I think, but
Lolly's ours, isn't he? So to answer that really quickly, mate, I'll go with Lolly just because. I mean, I think Knockout's been brilliant the last few games. I think it was man of the match against Bournemouth for me. The only thing, as I will say, he's doing that running thing, which we like to see with Ribeiro, near, far, wherever. But ultimately, sometimes I want him to run and to stay. I want him behind the front man, actually. I think he'd be great there, or stay in his position a bit more than he does, because he's so busy isn't he, that he's kind of everywhere.
Yeah. This is Holly from London. Do you know Holly? Do you know Holly?
I'd love to go no and get my phone going off.
I know Holly.
Holly's been, Holly been chatting for a while. I don't think we've met. Might have done
I spoke to her. I've seen her through my streams. She just watched my streams as well. She's on Twitter as well.
She's told me about you, Ben. Yeah, she works for MI5, mate. She's got your links.
Last but not least, like the whole round, like, so I think it's got about. How many games got left? About 16 games to go. Where do you think Forest will finish this season?
7th.
What?
7th. They're going to finish 7th, and they're going to miss out by a goal.
People click this. I can't believe 7th.
I think Forest will finish, because I think the league's compressed. I think they'll finish higher than you probably might think they were, because I think Swansea's a bad example, but let's say we did win 2 games in a row, we could jump up to about 10th. I don't think it's going to be one of them that it's close to it. I can imagine some people sodding off, and I'm not saying Forest for playoffs and all this kind of business. But what's annoying is, this is what you asked me earlier on about when we start a season going, we're going to go up. Whilst the maths are there, we've all seen seasons, mate, where someone's come from nowhere. Do I think it's a good thing if Forest went up this year on current form and how the club's being run, etc.? No, I probably don't.
You know what? That's a good question, right? I've not mentioned that, Ryan. As you know, there's always things happening behind the scenes at Forest, and I've never mentioned. Sometimes I don't mention it about it. Like, I know you and there's quite a lot of Forest fans have their opinion. Don't make it. I'll make it short. What is your opinion on? What is your opinion on behind the scenes? And it's not as bad as Fowers, is it?
No, so it's not as bad as Fowers, because these people know how to run a football club from this century, because it felt like Fowers knew how to run one from 1562 that his mate owned. It seemed like, and I still will always prefer shipping to fridges, just to answer that again. The problem is this: they're still doing a very well, great job in a league where there is only sort of 2 or 3 teams that win it. And I think there's a culture difference that's come over here. I think this thing with Rentos and God knows what has been quite clearly publicised by Daniel Taylor and the like. And for those people going, Daniel Taylor's agenda, yeah, all right, Daniel Taylor is a journalist who wants to sell newspapers, but he's also a massive Forest fan who isn't going to, like me, in that sense where I don't want to do a song just for you lot to go, it's about Ryan. He's doing it because it's an element of his club. And I might have got him wrong. I've met the guy maybe twice. I think he's absolutely sound. And I just don't see that you put your credibility and your career and stuff like that on the line for stuff like that, which could get all these doors shut to you unless it's true. So if it is true, Ben, it's absolutely horrifying. And it also makes a lot of sense that poison has trickled down through managers, through players, through attitudes. It's a toxic place to be. And I think at the minute, Chris Hughton and the way the team, I'm nearly there, are playing is probably giving them a little bit of relief from it. But I think there needs to be changes, because even Fowers had times where he went, I'm going to reassess this. I'm going to go and steal the FA Cup. I'll be back in a minute.
Like you mentioned, I said, it's Michael Axis' club, and he can do what he wants. And I understand, like, people like I've not been vocal about Vetros, because, like I said, I've met him at City Ground once.
I would love it if you pulled him out then, and here he is.
I've met him. I don't know. I met him one time, and if Forest fans are going through his neck, saying, "Oh, let's get rid of him. But Michael Atkins, he can bring someone else, exactly same like him. It's his club.
Well, there's been 2 more this week, hasn't there? There's been 2 more people who are to do with family and gun as well, and that's going to happen. My dad will get me to labour for him on a site before somebody else because he knows I can, you know what I mean? So I think there's no one thing you got to remember, Ben, is there's no way that Marinakis is sitting there enjoying the way this team is playing at the moment. You know, oh right, it's been better recently. This, you know, I've done that thing I was on about where you have to defend because you know what's coming. But as it stands, there's no way that investment is where he thought it would be and what it's done. You know, and we've been promised these gates and this and that. But remember, we've been sold TVs before. We've been had big TVs in the corner, and you're not going to get us again with it this time. Going to look at this. We've got a scoreboard that moves, not the little potato men. Remember the potato men when we scored? I used to love the potato men. Let's have a special Twitter page just for the potato men at Forest. They used to go like that when they scored. Listen, it is better. To sum it up, mate, it's better than it was in terms of what it was in terms of ownership. Of course it is, because we were basically being run by a psychopath. This is different. This is someone who kind of almost should know better, which feels a little bit more scary and disappointing in a way. And what's the hardest thing is to do, Ben, is this, because you start going, it's the players not trying. Hold on a minute. Hold on. It's the manager doing the same thing. Oh, hold on a minute. It's the owners not doing that. And you spin round and round and round.
100%,
and it's coming down to the results aren't on the pitch. That team gets relegated. They're going to struggle to get out of League One for a while. So none of us want that. Everybody coming on here, maybe apart from Lisa, who just doesn't know how to spell Nottingham. We all want.
She likes. Listen to me. She only comes in here when Derby win. That's the only time she pipes up. Like Lisa, I'll see you next week when Forest play Derby, because you know the score.
And when Sheffield United get one more point.
Anthony from Australia. We're only 13 points from 6. It's doable, isn't it, Ryan?
Of course it's doable. I mean, as much as I'm saying 7th, Ben, because it makes me sound like I'm positive, but also if we don't quite make the playoffs, like I think a good run could still make us do. Any of them could. Anyone. I'm not just saying it's a Forest thing. Any team that's on the form that we're currently on, which could go out the window tomorrow because they're a bloody good side, Swansea. It'll be a tough game. On the run we're on, you know, with the momentum that it could be getting up together, you've got to look at it like that. It's happened every season. There's a team that does it. So you just never know, mate. But I mean, I just want us away from that bloody bottom lot enough. Leave Derby down there. Let them get relegated. With that's more their level. I hope Sheffield Wednesday survive as well. Sheffield Wednesday is very much my granddad's team. I used to love him to bits. He was with me when I met Clough at Hillsborough in 1991, and I'm very much a bit blue and white in me as well. So I'd love Wednesday to survive, and also obviously in Derby can go and down.
Before you go, Ryan, like I said, this first free tip here, I just mentioned about YouTube channel. Like I said, if no one knows who Ryan is, he sings songs about Forest. And yeah, just to give you back your channel before you go.
Yeah, quickly. So I think it's under Rye Byron Songwriter where I've got them at the minute, and there's a different Freebs the Tree bit there. So they're mainly at the minute songs where on Twitter,
here it is.
Yeah, Rye Byron Songwriter. So there's a mixture there because there's some of the normal career is mixed with the Forest stuff. So yeah, at the minute I'm doing a vote on Twitter a lot of the time for the Forever Forest podcast. I'm on with Alan and Steve and that, and we ask people to give us a Forest player and give us a style of music. So we've had Sam Amiobi doing the Venga Boys, we've had Chaz and Dave, Ben Watson, we've had Stuart Pearce, Punk, Chrissy Cohen is the new one, which is in the style of Oasis. They're going to be on there with the videos. Plus, there's normally ones to do with owners if they start getting narky, and we can shout at them and tell them to get lost. And I'm sure at one point we'll end up doing a song all about Mr. Dore, and we'll do it in the style of we'll do it in the style of Tipsy.
Right, you're not getting me on your channel singing, because if I sing, you know the Twitter haters will go for my neck and say, "Oh, there's Mr. Dore'S again." No, and
I'll take double. I'll sing it about you, and
you'll get that little brat Matchday Max on my neck as well. So there's not a chance. I can't even. I'll do it. Listen to me. I'll be a backup dancer. I'll be a backup dancer, and that will do me.
That's fine. That's exactly it. In fact, I'll do Endless Love with the Diana Ross, and I think it will be you and Matt. We'll do it like that.
Ryan, it's been a pleasure. It's been actually a pleasure for coming to and give your opinion on our Nottingham Forest. But like I said, people, Ryan's channel is in below. Please do subscribe to his channel, and as well follow him on Twitter as well. He is like very cool like myself, all Forest. And like I said,
during the games, though, Ben. Like I say, not during the games as much. So yeah, it's you try and shut up in the games a little bit. But yeah, Freebs the Tree on Twitter. Come and say hello or send me some abuse. I can block you.
But Ryan, it's been a pleasure, and hopefully. We do at least a good performance tomorrow against Swansea.
Better days, Ben. Listen, we all want the same. Everyone apart from look, even Lisa. Look, we're joking aside. That's her team. She loves them, so I'm sure she wants the best for them as well. Even though I think a lot of things about them and could have swore a lot more. We all want the same thing, and hopefully it'll turn to better days, and we'll see them again, especially for them younger lot as well who haven't seen it. And I just want the best for Forest and you Reds. That's all I can say, really, mate.
Yeah, right. It's been a pleasure, and thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome, mate. Keep safe.
Cheers. You keep him as well. Cheers. That's Ryan. What a legend. What a man. Like I said, please do follow his YouTube channel, and please follow his Twitter as well. Like, he's a really nice guy. But people, before I do go, I'll announce it tomorrow. There's a few stuff that'll be happening on my channel. Tomorrow it's a watch along. That starts at 7:15 as well. Yeah, I've got two more interviews as well, but I'll announce it tomorrow. I'm not doing drag. Eddie, stay away from Craig. But yeah, tomorrow I will be. Before I do go, like I said, if you did enjoy this, please do hit the like button. If you are new, subscribe. If you are new, like I said, my watch along starts at 7:15. I'll be on with Craig and Martin. But yeah, people, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for Reese as well for coming to town. Please do hit the subscribe button for Reese as well. Go and follow Ryan. You will see Ryan. I think he was a fantastic guest for me. First time I've been on there. But like I said, people, I really enjoyed this today. But I've been on for nearly an hour now, well past an hour. But it's been a pleasure, people. Hopefully you'll see me tomorrow. I'm watch along, and hopefully everyone has a peace day, and see you tomorrow. Up the Forest.